commies are on the rise. That's right, as Bernie Sanders is now the king of the universe, and Zoran Mamdani is celebrating raising taxes with no one to stop him. Let's talk about it. Here we go.
Let's go.
So I have this theory, and this theory is that socialism is on the rise. The Democrat Socialists of America are coming to a town near you. Today is a very important day because of a special election that's going on in New Jersey, where a socialist kook is about to become the congresswoman. Bernie Sanders, big story in the Wall Street Journal. Bernie's in charge of the party. And Zoran Mamdani is bragging about raising taxes, bragging. And when I looked at the responses to it, people were like, yes, you go, man. And the mayor of New York City, Kathy Hochul, I have it here. This was the front cover of the New York Post. No new taxes, no, comma, new taxes. Well, let's begin with that Wall Street Journal article, since Dan Borowski was kind enough to put the graphic on. Dan's been helping out all week since Evil Jared's in Tokyo, and Dan's doing a great job. Bernie is the kingmaker. He is the leader of the party, of the Democrat Party right now. Why is that significant? Well, he would have been the nominee in 2016 had the Democrat Party elites, the superdelegates, not stepped in and stopped him from becoming the nominee. Bernie was going to win. Bernie would have absolutely done it. And then they all decided, nope, it's got to be Hillary Clinton. We need a warmonger. We need somebody we can control. And we need somebody who's going to be our puppet. So Bernie was shoved out and Hillary won the nomination. And when I say win, I mean was handed the nomination. Same thing in 2020. Had left to his own devices, Bernie would have won. But remember the day they all dropped out? Joe Biden became the nominee. Pete Buttigieg was the first one to go, and they left America's mother-in-law, Elizabeth Warren, in the race to undercut the socialist vote so that Bernie couldn't steal the nomination away from the elders who had stolen the nomination away from the Democrat Party. In fact, the last time the Democrats actually chose their nominee was 2008. That's right, when Barack Obama, not the guy who looks like Barack Obama, who Joe Biden brought on the stage yesterday, but the actual Barack Obama, because not all black people look the same. Barack Obama was the last time the Democrat grassroots chose their own nominee. 2016, the elders, the elites chose Hillary Clinton, then Joe Biden in 2020, and then 2024, of course, Kamala Harris at a closed convention. They did not allow the delegates to actually have an open primary process, even at their convention. I know because I was there covering it for you. But Bernie's now in a unique position. He's the kingmaker at a time when Democrats are going around and openly embracing and advancing socialism and high taxes. This puts Bernie in a unique position. He's not running. He's not the candidate. He's not going to be the candidate. So he can go out there unabashedly as the kingmaker and anoint his successor, which gives him an enormous amount of credibility among the Democrat Party, because they go, well, Bernie's not in it for himself. Bernie is literally looking out for who's going to be our best candidate for 2028. Now, he loves AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or Sandy, as he calls her, loves him, was out there for Mamdani, was in New Jersey campaigning for the woman who's about to win this special election for the seat that was occupied by Mikey Sherrill before she became governor of New Jersey. Bernie has enormous credibility within the Democrat Party, which is crazy when you think about 10 years ago, they stopped him. 10 years before that, they wouldn't even acknowledge that he existed. I mean, it was like, well, he caucuses with us, but he's a socialist. He's from Vermont. He's not really one of us. Now he's the kingmaker. He's in charge. It's Bernie's party. To understand how they got to this place, you have to really look at colleges and high schools to a large degree and realize that there's an entire generation of kids who believe that communism is a good thing. You know, I made a joke this week. I said, it reminds me of when I was in college and I was playing hacky sack, even though I never played hacky sack, but you know, that guy in the quad who's like, the problem with communism isn't communism. It's just never been tried right before. Well, we have these dictators and we never really actually tried it. But if you tried it, it would work and blah, blah, blah. You got a whole generation of people who believe socialism is the answer. They have seen capitalism, in their opinion, fail them. They don't want to work. The work ethic is not there like it used to be. And they just believe that the oligarchs keep getting richer and richer, and the system is designed to keep the rich getting richer. They've heard that over and over again in Hollywood and TV and movies and everything else. And so when the socialists come out and they say, you're going to get this for free and that for free, and you don't even have to work if you don't want to, and a living wage, and they go, sign me up. Sounds great. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's me. I'm a type A guy. I'm an alpha male. I like to work. I believe in work. I believe in the value of hard work. I do. I think it helps. I think it's good for the soul. I think it's good for a sense of purpose. I've seen too many people who stopped working too early in their life and they just got bored, and I don't know, they just lost a sense of purpose. I've seen people who gave up early on of their dreams. They decided to not pursue their dreams, and they left a feeling of deep dissatisfaction. I remember a line from Dirty Dancing: you lose your dreams, you die. Am I quoting Dirty Dancing? You're damn right I am, because you know why? Patrick Swayze, God rest his soul, the man was a legend. Of course, Roadhouse, and a bunch of other great movies he was in. But, every guy's had to watch Dirty Dancing if he's married or has a girlfriend. So we've all had to do it. I mean, yeah, we've had to go down that road. And I'm a Wolverine deep down inside. Red Dawn, baby. Red Dawn. Which reminds me of communism and the fact that you've got guys out there like Hasan Piker who say that the worst thing that ever happened is that the Socialist, the Soviets, the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republic, the fall of the USSR was one of the worst catastrophes of the 20th century. Now, this guy, Hasan Piker, we've talked a lot about him recently, has a huge following in social media. They call him the Joe Rogan of the left, but he's not Joe Rogan because he has crazy anti-Semitic ideas, and he justified the rapes of women on October 7th as, one of those things that happens, and he's a lunatic. But he also may be playing a long con. It's perfectly possible and rational that he might be doing that. But here's what he said. One of the greatest catastrophes of the 20th century. Cut 8.
The fall of the USSR was one of the greatest catastrophes of the 20th century. Just wait, listen, maybe you'll agree. Not only was there incalculable harm done to every single country under its banner, child prostitution, skyrocketing suicide rates, life expectancy plummeting, but America was no longer contested around the globe. And it is precisely because of the end to that multipolarity that we saw accelerated neoliberalism that is devastating every Western nation right now. Unlimited and unchecked greed. Our successes are leading to our own demise and the demise and collapse of the liberal system. The U.S. has produced disaster after disaster after disaster.
There's a movie coming out. Angel Studios is behind it. They do some great work. And it is about the negotiations between President Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev during the Cold War, when Reagan basically was able to end the Cold War and defeat the evil empire, as he called it, by sitting across the table with Gorbachev. Now, the wrong actor was chosen to play Reagan, in my opinion. Jeff Daniels. I actually like. I like him as an actor in Dumb and Dumber, but he's a ball fell. And I mean, I was young, but I remember that day, and I remember what that felt like, and I remember the time of growing up where people in East Germany wanted to be in West Germany, and West Germany had genes, and the people in East Germany didn't, and East Germany had the Stasi, and West Germany had freedom, and they don't really get it because they didn't. And schools are not teaching it because it's antithetical to this idea that socialism, communism actually works and it's good and it's healthy. And this is why you're seeing people like Mamdani win and AOC, and why Bernie's the kingmaker, because a generation of people don't understand what communism was really about. It was not about everybody getting their fair share of things. It wasn't about the philosophy outlined in the Communist Manifesto. It was about this notion of the state controlling everything. And too often capitalism goes down this road of crony capitalism. And I'm very critical of that when it happens. But the state controlling everything, including people's rights and their freedom of speech, the means of production, and all of it. And they don't remember this. And because they don't understand it, when they hear people promising things like free buses, free daycare, free healthcare, going after the oligarchy, naming the enemy, the oligarchy is the enemy. Back then, when it was communism, when the Soviet Union was around, capitalism was the enemy. You don't hear the word capitalism as much now. It's oligarchy. It's been replaced by that, but it's the same principle. It's the same idea. How is it that people should be able to get so rich? How is it that people should be able to accumulate so much wealth on the backs of the working class? And so you create an enemy, and then you make the working class the victim, and then you have them rise up. And this also comes at a time that Angel Studios has put out a movie called Animal Farm, not Animal House. And nobody should ever remake Animal House, by the way. It's pure perfection.
Can you imagine if Angel remade Animal House?
Let's hope to God, Dan, they never do, because like I said, that movie is pure perfection, but also not in their wheelhouse. I mean, really not in their wheelhouse to do Animal House. But they've done Animal Farm, and it's controversial because I've heard some people say that they've completely rewritten it to make it seem like capitalism is the bad guy here, when Orwell, who was a rabid anti-communist, George Orwell, and I know this because I went out to PragerU last year and I sat down with the PragerU book club. I had a great conversation, and we talked about Animal Farm, and we loved it. I mean, it was fun to reread it and go through this and think about what Orwell was trying to convey, which is this notion of all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And then the rules they created eventually went away because the people in power will find a way to hang on to their power. And that is human nature. And the problem with any of these systems, whether it's communism or socialism or anything else, is that you still have people at the top who wind up making all the money and controlling everything. It's just that they wind up taking away the rights of everybody underneath them. And there's not enough mouths to feed. So that problem becomes something they can't overcome, which is why you lead to things like forced famines and death and plagues. I mean, it's awful. It's terrible. But anyway, if you grew up understanding the Cold War, if you grew up understanding the brink of war and how close we were to catastrophic nuclear annihilation, Armageddon, all the things, I think you'll like this Brink of War. Looks great. The trailer looks great. Like I said, I wouldn't have gone with Jeff Daniels necessarily to play Ronald Reagan, but the movie looks fantastic, and I'm excited about it. J.K. Simmons playing George Shultz in that, if you were curious. Now, Animal Farm, the book. So I went out to California last March. It was spring break. Sat down with Michael Knowles. We did a whole PragerU book club on this, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It turns out there was a children's version of Animal Farm authorized by the Orwell estate. And it was an illustrated book, and I brought that too. And I read it to my kids because, I want them to understand why communism doesn't work. As a philosophy, it does not work. It doesn't work wherever it's been tried. It just doesn't. And the reason why is human nature. And Orwell was a philosopher first and foremost, and he understood the philosophy of human nature, which is that people will always try to maintain their power. Our founders, 250 years ago, understood that as well. They were philosophers. They based their philosophy on the philosophy of others, and they read a lot of Locke and Hobbes and all kinds of other people. And the point is that they really understood too, unless you put in these constraints, people will grab power and then try to hold on to power indefinitely and at the expense of everybody else. Human beings don't normally relinquish power. It is not something that is done. So you have to put in a system by which there are guardrails against that. That is the nature of this. And you also have to guard against the fact that people are going to exploit other people for their own purposes. Now, historically, what we've seen with that is people like Bernie Sanders and others come out and scream about the oligarchy. What are they really yelling about when they scream about the oligarchy? They're yelling about people that you buy from, like Jeff Bezos. Like, you buy from Amazon, and Jeff Bezos, because of him, there's a guy maybe right now delivering packages. He's got a job. He's got a job that he has because somebody started a company called Amazon.com. But they've created him as the devil because he's made all this money and he's got yachts and he's got all this other stuff. And I get it. You know, the joy in all of this is there always has to be a boogeyman, boogie person. I don't want to use gender here, boogie person. Here is the trailer for Animal Farm. And Carrie asked me the other day, Rich, you're going to see this movie? I'm not sure. I probably will. I'll see it so I can report back to you. But Animal Farm is very controversial because I've heard from people that they took this movie and they've made it into an anti-capitalist story. I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't seen it yet, but I will see it. But here's the trailer.
Many seasons ago, we all dreamed that one day animals would be free.
We are going on vacation.
What does that
See,
say?
it's illustrated.
Laughter House!
That sounds awesome. I love to laugh.
It's a slaughterhouse!
We're all gonna die!
The animals are fighting the people.
We did it! Animals run the farm!
All animals are equal.
What could possibly go wrong?
Our experiment is working.
All of us together.
It's time to farm again.
Never saw
All right, let
the
me
sun
pause it right here,
shining
Dan, if I could. So, all animals are equal. Some animals are more equal than others. You know that line. It's a very famous line. When Orwell wrote this, he was talking about the revolution that was led by Lenin, which is when they overthrew the proletariat, and then the working class became in charge. So the animals throw off the humans, and then the animals run the farm, and it's Animal Farm. Through the course of this, then the animals wind up putting people in charge, and the people who are in charge wind up getting all these special privileges and all these powers, and then they don't want to relinquish those. And that's the basis of what Orwell's point was, which is that power corrupts and people will exploit these systems, and ultimately the workers will pay the price. They'll be promised these things if you just topple this group, but then that group becomes the group that they just replaced. In the context of modern times right now, and this is the big story of the hour, brought to you by Dr. Mike Veneria of Veneria Dental. Go see him today for your perfect smile. 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, veneriadental.com. When you think about Zoran Mamdani, the communist mayor of New York City, who's bragging about raising taxes and going after people that have pied-à-terres. So these rich people have an apartment in New York City, and they don't live there, but they go and they visit. And while they're there, they spend money. They go to restaurants, they go to bars, they go to shows, they go to comedy clubs, they go to all these other places. Then they hire people, and they have doormen, and they tip those doormen, and they get drivers, and they take taxi cabs, or they take private cars, or whatever it is. In other words, the money is spread around if they come to New York City. If they stop coming to New York City, then people hurt. It's like the same thing with, if you go after Jeff Bezos and you make him the devil, and you forget that there's a guy right now driving around literally at this moment delivering packages, and he has a job because of a company that Jeff Bezos created, it's very easy to get away from the fact that when people have wealth, other people can benefit from that wealth. But if you are trying to accumulate power, you have to have a bad guy. You have to have an enemy. So the enemy becomes the people at the top, the oligarchy, the top of the food chain. With Animal Farm, it was the humans. And because there's a whole generation of young people that didn't grow up with the idea that communism is an oppressive system, they're open to it. They're open to the idea of it because now they're being taught the oligarchy is the oppressive system. Like if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s and the early 90s, you probably remember how communism was oppressive. You get that point. But if you didn't, Now you hear that it's the oligarchy that's oppressive. So here is Zora Mamdani bragging about taxing the rich, very happy about it. Take a listen.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Okay. The governor's going to go along with this, Kathy Hochul, after saying she wouldn't go along with raising taxes. Why is he so happy about this? Why is he bragging about this? Because he knows that now a lot of these people that have these pied-à-terres would love to get rid of them. Look at that face right in your face. Oh, my God. Oof, it's scary. God, that's scary. Dan, make it go away. Please, make it go away. That's scary. I'm going to have nightmares over that. He knows that these people can't get rid of their pied-à-terres now. They're going to be stuck with them. So they're going to have to suck it up and pay the tax. There's nothing they can do. But the point of celebrating raising taxes on the rich as if it's a victory, like we've gone after these people and now we're making them pay, is exactly the mindset that Bernie Sanders, AOC, and an entire generation have been led to believe. It is time to make the proletariat pay. It is time to overthrow the humans. It is time to rise up on our hind legs and be in charge. But then you find out very, very quickly that these centers, these places that are supposed to benefit from all this money coming in, don't. Because people find ways to exploit the system whenever you give out free money. Orwell talked about that. We saw that with the corruption in communist countries. We saw the high inflation in communist countries. We saw socialism until guys like Javier Milei came along and was able to undo that in countries like Argentina. But we don't talk about that because they make you believe there's a utopia. And that concept of utopia has always been something that young people have gravitated towards. Give me utopia. Make me believe that we can have it. We just have to find the enemy, blame the enemy, and then go after the enemy. And now the kingmaker in all this, Bernie Sanders, has his people. And those people are on the march, and those people are on the rise. And because a generation didn't grow up believing that communism was bad and capitalism was good, because capitalism was freedom. It may not be the best system, but at least it's the most free system. They now gravitate towards that message of communism. This has been a long belief in why Marx talked about having a centralized education system to essentially brainwash the children. And it worked. Free public education is the hallmark of brainwashing the children to make them believe in the state, in making them believe that the state is right and that the bad guy, the enemy, whatever it is, the rich, the bourgeoisie, whatever it is, they're the bad guys, and why you have to give up certain freedoms in the name of the good of the collective. And it worked. And this is the challenge that we're facing in America right now. Now, I have more on this, but first let me tell you about our friends at Tri-County Toyota, because Tri-County Auto Time is great. What if your next truck took you further for less? Right now at Tri-County Toyota, you can get up to 24 miles per gallon on a new 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 when you finance for only 2.99% APR, including their Tri-County for Life guarantee. Now, if you're ready for your next Jeep, Tri-County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has the perfect fit waiting for you. Step into a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee, built for capability and comfort, now with 0% APR and no payments for 90 days. If you want the Jeep Wrangler, what I drive, and I love my Jeep Wrangler, 2026 Jeep Wrangler can take you anywhere, secure 0% APR and no payments for 90 days this month only. Stop by during their Declaration of Deals event and go see them and my friends Brian Krieger, Jack Donaldson, Mark Robertson, the guy who's helping me find our beautiful car, which we're picking up on Monday, Toyota Sienna. Tell them I sent you. TriCounty.com for all the deals, for all the specials. Great people who will take great care of you. And by the way, the kids will love it. Free hot dogs, free popcorn, a kids' playroom. TriCounty.com. All right, so socialism is on the march. What do we do about it, though, is the question. What do we do about it? There's not much you can do. I think we're going to be at this moment right now where we have a real battle on our hands. I mean this. We have a real battle on our hands. And a lot of this is because the people who have advocated for public education with no school choice and no options have won. The only thing we can do is to hope that people will wake up. But how do we do that? Well, for one thing, we fight back on things like this. So let's put up graphic number 5. Republicans ripped 4 blue states for keeping taxes on tips and overtime after President Trump got rid of it on the federal level. 4 Democrat-led states rejected President Donald Trump's policy on no tax on tips and overtime pay, and they're getting called out by Republicans for going against efforts to increase affordability. The governors of 3 of the largest Democrat-run states, and this will shock you, California, New York, and Illinois, are continuing to tax tips and continuing to tax overtime against Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, while Colorado will require taxpayers to report how much is deducted federally so it can be added back for state taxes in future years. They are doing this and they're going after these people because they don't really care about the people at the bottom of the totem pole any more than they care about the people at the top of the totem pole. All they care about is getting money so they can redistribute that money and they can accumulate more power for themselves. Because money equals power. And if you're a governor, if you're a mayor, and you're able to take money from people, whether it's the rich people or the people making money, bussing tables, it doesn't matter. It gives you their money to send around and redistribute how you see fit to benefit yourself so you can stay in power. This is ultimately what Orwell warned about in Animal Farm when the animals started walking on their hind legs because the animals were able to achieve power. And this is ultimately what humanity always strives for, to be in power as long as possible. Our system is set up to guard against that, but there are too many people out there exploiting that. And where are the people that are pushing back on this? Where are they in this day and age? Well, you find that they are losing when they're running on statewide office. And the reason why they're losing is because there are these podcasters and other people who are out there who are spreading these lies that socialism and communism are going to make all their dreams come true. All you need to do is just believe and support them and vote for them. Here's AOC and Bernie Sanders together going against AI. Bernie was pressed on AI limitations. Actually, I'm sorry, that's just Bernie, I believe himself. Pressed on AI limitations, asked about the race against China.
We got them both.
Oh, they're both in this. Thank you, Dan. Fantastic. A 2-for-1 combination. Cut 16.
The most common critique that comes up when this idea of moratorium is raised is that we're in an AI race with China, and that slowing down the progress of AI development in any way would give China an advantage, whether that's economic, national security. I'm curious, when that critique is raised to you, what do you say to that? Is that something you're concerned
about? Well, I think the good news here, and it's not widely known, is there are a number of Chinese scientists who share the same concern that American scientists are worried about. And that is, if we don't get a handle on AI, there are going to be enormous existential consequences. So I think in a sane world, what happens is the leadership of the United States sits down with the leadership in China and leadership around the world to work together so that we don't go over the edge and create a technology which could perhaps destroy humanity. But I would say there are Chinese scientists fairly high up in the government who share those concerns. We've got to immediately, with a sense of urgency, bring those people together.
Watch the way she shoves herself in here.
I think the concern.
You know what it's like, Dan?
There is easily remedied.
If you could pause it for a
by
second.
passing protections for people.
It's almost
to
like
sort out-
passing the torch to a new generation, right? I mean, here the old guy steps aside and he's like, you know, let's bring in the hottie. Yeah, come here, come here. Although she may just shove him aside, right? I don't even think he invites her up. Yeah, no, she just
concern
up in the government who share those concerns. We've got to immediately, with a sense of urgency, bring those people together.
Here it is.
Anything you want to add?
Now, let's bring up the hot.
I think the concern there is easily remedied by passing protections for people. We need to sort out energy sources. Once these companies can be on the up and up, providing their own energy, building out and investing in the infrastructure, refusing to free ride off of the American people, then we can continue to develop and explore this technology. I don't think that this is about a denialism of science or American competitiveness, but it is about an integration of protection of the American people instead of allowing this to happen at their expense.
And furthermore,
you know what I hear when I hear her talk? I hear a presidential candidate. And I hear the guy next to her essentially handing off to AOC. Remember, Bernie's the kingmaker. What I see and what I hear there is him anointing her as the heir apparent to Bernie's revolution. And she's telegenic and she's well-spoken and she says absolutely freaking nothing. It's like you listen to her speak and go, what did you just say? Right, Dan? I mean, she said nothing.
100%.
I heard her speak.
Here's more. So this is earlier. He passed it off as well.
Our legislation in the House and the Senate would hit the brakes on construction of new data centers until we address several of the key areas of harm AI poses.
No data
centers. Learn from our lack
Got
of regulation following the similar rise regarding the internet and demands a new approach to AI. One that
wait, stop. Hang on. You're just going to gloss over the rise of the internet? You're just going to gloss that over? The rise of the internet?
AI poses. Our bills learn from our lack of regulation following the similar rise regarding the internet and demands a new approach to
regarding the internet? You know, just this little thing, the internet, you know, just this minor thing that I post on 8,000 times a day on my Instagram account at AOC, you know, the internet.
Regarding the internet.
Yeah, just the
our
internet.
It's
learn
like from our lack of regulation following the similar rise regarding the internet and demands a new approach to AI, one that protects the American people from big tech's egregious overreach. One bound by our
let's definitely learn the lessons of the rise of the internet, considering how many people were able to create companies online, how many people were able to sell their goods online, and how many people were able to post nonstop pictures of themselves online thanks to that little thing called the internet. Like you, AOC.
A new approach to AI. One that protects the American people from big tech's egregious overreach. One bound by our shared commitment over those who wish to patent it. One that centers prosperity for the many over exorbitant profits for the very few. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, fire away. By the way, we're just going to take questions on AI.
Okay.
That's where
all
China starts. Yep.
So if you want to ask me questions about my wife who might be in prison, and then what a free Bernie would look like, not today. Okay? Okay. The rise of the internet, you know, like Skynet. Whoop. No big deal. He's the kingmaker. She's the queen. She's the heir apparent. And Mamdani, who is a communist, is the mayor of the largest city in America. The socialists are on the move. Now, I hope that Angel Studios Animal Farm is very true to Orwell's writing. I'm concerned by some of the reviews I've read and heard that it's not, that it makes capitalism the bad guy. I don't know. I'll let you know when I see it. I certainly will. But in the meantime, what I do want to mention to you, of course, on this very important day, on this hot day again, it's another hot day. It's a crazy, like, we go from winter to summer all of a sudden. But Memorial Day is going to be here in a little bit over a month. Do you have your plans yet? Do you have your summer vacation plans yet? If not, what are you waiting for? It's time to make them. Today is Reagan Zeoli's birthday, 6 years, just like that. Unbelievable, right? Time flies, and you got to make these memories with your family. So book the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. CapeMay.com, Grand Hotel, CapeMay.com. Great place to be. The kids will love it. They will love the outdoor heated pool, Olympic size. They will love the indoor heated pool. You will love it as well. You'll love Hemingway's restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Finest steaks and seafood you can find up and down the Jersey Shore. Handcrafted cocktails, the pool bar. Kids will love all the great activities in Cape May. You'll love the history of Cape May, including the lighthouse. There's World War II history. There's so much to do. There's the Cape May County Zoo. Of course, walks on the beach. I mean, the Grand Hotel of Cape May is right on the beach. You need to make your Memorial Day package stay now. You get 4 consecutive nights. You stay 4 consecutive nights. You get Thursday night free. That's right. Thursday night free if you do 4 consecutive nights at the Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey for their Memorial Day week special midweek stay. But you got to book online and you got to book direct with them, or you can call them. You can call them, but you got to book direct with them for the best rates. GrandHotelCapeMay.com. GrandHotelCapeMay.com. And yes, I will see you there. We'll be there this summer. We'll be there for a live show. I don't know the date yet, but if you are thinking about getting married or having an event, family reunion, maybe a baby shower, a bridal shower, they can plan the perfect event for you. Just go to GrandHotelCapeMay.com. Ask for my friend Caitlin. She is a certified wedding planner and was named the 2025 South Jersey Face of Weddings by South Jersey Magazine. GrandHotelCapeMay.com. All right, I got some other things for you. There are some people who are whining about lots of different things, including Rosie O'Donnell. But before I do that, let's have Jimmy Kimmel whine about his job. He doesn't like it that his job, some people might criticize the job that he does. So here's Jimmy Kimmel, cut number 12.
I just can't imagine on those nights talking about anything other than what we are talking about. And I give a lot of credit to my colleagues for doing the same thing. I think it would be embarrassing if we didn't talk about this stuff. It would be shameful. I love telling jokes. I love being funny. I love when the audience laughs. There's nothing that's more exciting to me than that. But well-rounded human beings don't behave that way. And to say that, well, your job is this, it makes me, I bristle at that because first of all, don't tell me what my job is.
Exactly.
You know, I don't tell you what your job is. My job is whatever I decide my job is, or whatever my employer allows me to do. That's what my job is.
Okay. Monday night, when the Eric Swalwell controversy came out, Jimmy Kimmel made the following joke about Eric Swalwell. Go ahead. Dan, go ahead, play it. Play all the jokes he made about Eric Swalwell. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, play him. Go ahead.
Rich, I don't have those. I feel unprepared. Did he make jokes about Swalwell?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't send him to you. He was no,
I didn't see anything. No, nothing.
Wait, hang on.
Got nothing.
Wait, let me check the internet. Let me go on that dangerous place called the internet. Hang on. Did Jimmy Kimmel make any Eric Swalwell jokes? Hang on. This is awkward. Sorry. Hang on. One sec, please. We're doing a live show here. Okay. All right. Doing a live show. Trying.
Where is it? I can't find it. There it is. Where is it?
All right. So it turns out he didn't make any jokes about Eric Swalwell. That's awkward. So if you're the whole thing is that your job is to make fun of what's in the news, The biggest news story is Eric Swalwell, and you helped Eric Swalwell rise to power on your show, and you act like you're not some sort of a political propagandist. You act like you're just a comedian. You act like you go after both sides, and you act like who the hell are we to criticize you for putting out political propaganda and not actually comedy, but you won't go after people like Eric Swalwell when they deserve to be mocked, but you will help them on their way up if you think it benefits you and your show. Here's a little flashback of you just palling around with your buddy Eric Swalwell, like all's good, just a couple bros hanging out. And don't tell me you're not a political propagandist, Jimmy Kimmel, if you won't then make fun of the guy because, you know, you have him on your show to promote him, but then at the same time, you won't tear him down, even though he deserves to be torn down. Here you go.
The consequences for everyone else, like women in their bodies, kids in their safety at school, you know, seniors in their health care. Like to him, it's me, me, me. Democrats, sometimes we stand too much on virtue and like modesty, and we think everything is a Harvard Law School moot court competition. But we just need to talk about this like it's a gut check to the regular folks and not make this so complicated. Just be real.
You say a lot of nasty things about you on Fox News. I mean, they're your parents. Doesn't that upset them and make them go, I see that what they're saying is not true. I shouldn't believe anything else they say.
My mom told me recently that when she would hear Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity go after me, she would change the channel. She's like, I don't like that, honey. That I think they went too far. So yeah, thanks, Mom.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. It was November 2025 when Eric Swalwell went on Jimmy Kimmel's show and announced he was running for governor. But he has not made any jokes about Eric Swalwell since this entire thing broke out. So don't act like, listen, I just make jokes about the news of the day. No, you are a guy who pushes political propaganda, which is fine. But then don't pretend like you're a comedian. Be honest with people. You're a guy who has a political agenda, and what you're trying to do is to get people to go along with your political agenda. Just be honest. And stop hiding behind this notion of you being some sort of late night comic. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to get criticized because you're pushing an agenda on people. But you know who's really upset about Eric Swalwell? Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, she's really, really upset by this whole Eric Swalwell thing. Of course, she's upset by a lot of things. And you know who else is really upset about Rosie O'Donnell, Dan? Her therapist, because her therapist is failing miserably. I mean, if I was her therapist, I'd be like, God, I am terrible at what I do. I suck. Like, I'm hard on myself in life. I really am. I'm my own worst critic. Could you imagine if I was Rosie's therapist? I'd be like, I am the worst therapist ever. She moved out of the country and she's still obsessed with Donald Trump.
That's a great point.
She doesn't even live here anymore and she can't stop thinking about the guy. Clearly, Ireland is not far away enough. Maybe Rosie should go to the moon next time we go to the moon, which wasn't this past time. Just pointing that out.
Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, Dan, we didn't go. We drove by it. We did a drive-by.
Well, we still went to the moon. I mean,
we went by the moon.
But if
Artemis 2 went by it. You know, it'd be like me driving by your house and beeping and waving, but I didn't actually stop it. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, if you were to drive by New York City on the New Jersey Turnpike, you went to New York City.
I didn't go to New York City because I didn't go to New York City. I drove by it. I saw it. I didn't go to New York. I looked at it. I waved. It was like, hey, Empire State Building. Like, it's the dark side of the Empire State Building. You know what I mean?
I would argue that you actually did go. If I were telling a friend, you know, if I'm taking a trip, then I went to New York City, and you know,
yeah.
Then if they
but
dug,
like,
I drove past New York City, but yes, yeah.
Artemis 2. I mean, they went to the moon. I mean, they went by it. You know, they drove, hey, moon. Like, what's up?
I don't mean to veer us off in a weird direction here, Rich, but I'm genuinely curious. Did this make you?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a conspiracy theorist. Did this make you doubt the moon landing back? You know, way yonder. If we're running all these numbers again, doesn't that suggest that we don't have the numbers in the first place? We're only on stage 2, and all we can do is go past the moon. We can't land on the moon, but we already landed on the moon, so wouldn't we have press save on the file to remember how to do that?
Yeah, Dan, here's the thing, and I know you're young and you're a little naive here, so I'm going to help you out here, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to realize something. The technology we had in the late 1960s, early 1970s was far superior than what we have today.
Apparently. Yes.
You understand that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like computers back then, phones back then, way better than the stuff we have today.
Mind blow Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez without the internet.
I'm just saying, Dan. All right. So to your point about well, how is it we were able to get there in the late 60s, early 70s, but not in the year 2026? Because the stuff we have today is all made in China. If we still had those computers, we could get back to the moon. Do you get it?
It was like playing Asteroids on an Atari, and they made it up to the moon. It was green lasers on a black background, and somehow we have cameras, 4K cameras, and we can't do it.
Yeah. Somehow we didn't lose the connection, the cell service all the way to the moon back then, but right now it breaks up when I go past Rahway, New Jersey on my way up to New York for my newsroom hit.
It's a much shorter distance to go to the studio next door when you're at Paramount Pictures, and filming the moon landing versus sending it to space.
All I'm saying is Stanley Kubrick's dead.
If he were alive, we'd land on the moon.
That's all I'm saying. You said that, not me. All I'm saying is Stanley Kubrick's dead.
I'll let you get back to it, Rich. Sorry about that.
By the way, my friend Nancy the other night asked me if Eric Swalwell was going to get his pension. Hopefully not. They're fighting against that. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Dan, what time did we start, by the way? Because now I've completely lost track of time.
We started about 53 minutes ago.
All right, so we got a few minutes. All right. So by the way, Dan, not to get back to real normal stuff and not conspiracy theories, but my friend Nancy did ask me the other day about no, I'm not saying the moon landing. I'm just simply saying she asked me if Eric Swalwell was going to get his pension, and I don't think he should. I don't know if he will. There's an effort right now to take away his congressional pension, but I don't know the answer, but we're looking into that. I know Congressman Josh Hawley's against it. But anyway, Rosie O'Donnell, very upset. This is where we started. Rosie O'Donnell, very upset about her past support for Eric Swalwell. What a detour we took. Almost like the detour they took by not going to the moon.
Country when you're there. You can't help but feel it.
Almost like the detour they took by going around the moon, but not to the moon. You know what I mean? Like that.
Just
look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. Look, kids, moon.
You went to London, at least. Well, I guess we went to space.
That's true.
Never mind.
That's true. I can't get left. Maybe that was just it. Maybe they couldn't get the capsule to go left, like Chevy Chase and European Vacation. They just
Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm sorry, Rosie O'Donnell. Thank you, Dan. Keep me on track. Yes, Rosie O'Donnell. Yes.
We talk a little bit about Eric Swalwell.
Sure, you psycho.
I know that guy.
Mm-hmm.
In the what kind of way? Spoke to him on the phone a couple times. Donated money to him, I believe. Talked about him in some public appearances years ago about how I believed in him.
Okay.
And his cute little family and 2 kids and standing up to all those people when he, berates them for their moralist behavior. And then all this comes out about him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
It's heartbreaking to me.
Okay.
And I wrote him a little message, and I said, Bill Clinton broke my heart, and now you did too. The conclusion I've come to, men suck.
Men suck. Got it?
Men suck.
Men suck, Dan.
The way that they are physiologically, they can't sort of control their sexual urges.
What?
Oh, all of us. Wow.
This is what I find.
Generalization.
And all of these things now coming out with Epstein and child abuse in America, and in what communities is it more rampant? And do you think Jeffrey Epstein was the only one running a brothel for children for billionaires? I don't think he was, you know.
Right. I just sent you a clip, by the way. Is there any way you could add that in for me?
Yeah, I'll get it here in a sec. Yeah, definitely.
You're the man. So all men can't control their impulses. I guess even the ones in Ireland who keep clearly over-serving you, they can't control their impulses, which is part of the problem. I'm going to play for you a clip of the president. He spoke just a few minutes ago, and he had a lot to say on his way to, where's he headed? Vegas or something like that, I think. Vegas, baby, Vegas. He said if there's no deal, the fighting is going to resume with the Iranians. He talked about a bunch of different things. But before we get to that, I met with the heart surgeon yesterday. Would you like to see some images of my heart? Does that sound fun? Would you like to see that for you? So Dr. Minikata from Cooper University Healthcare, he looked at my heart, and we have some images for you of my myocardial bridge, which is what he's going to have to operate on. Okay. Now, what you're looking at youtube.com/@RichZeoli show. If you can see, my artery in my heart disappears. Dan, do you see that? It's like a magic trick. The Prestige, the Christopher Nolan movie. Do you see the artery disappear?
Dude, what's going on there?
So what's happening is that my muscle in my heart is collapsing around the artery and essentially crushing it. And that's why it disappears in that image. That's from a CAT scan that they did at the heart or whatever they did. They put a camera in my heart and they looked at it. So you can see it. It looks like a big spider. Looks like a grasshopper bouncing, and then it just disappears. Now, do you have the one where he says whoosh, whoosh, whoosh? Do you have the audio? Because the doctor, you got to listen to him. He's a fan. This guy's great. I love this guy.
I can fly through him real quick. Tell me, is this it?
So I'm going to stop here. So this is the left entry descending artery, right? And you just focus on here.
Watch that.
This segment is a little bit smaller than the other two. Artery is always going. So I'm going to stop here. So.
See?
That's the heart.
Shoo.
The muscle.
Yeah,
shoo.
Yeah.
Shoo.
Boom.
See?
Boom. Boom. There's no change here. There's no change here, but in here.
Yeah, it's getting.
Oh my gosh, man.
Now.
It disappears.
Crushing it, basically.
It literally disappears. It's like it's like speaking of Vegas, it's like something you'd see at like a Penn and Teller show or like, I don't know, O's the Mentalist. Like, you know, I can make your artery disappear. Isn't that crazy?
Has narrowed.
So that's what they have to operate on, Dan. They have to take that artery and lift it and take it out. They got to cut into the heart muscle and then move it out so that the muscle stops compressing on it and making it disappear like that. And then at the same time crushing it and then cutting off blood flow too. So
there's something serious going on. No? Like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's legit. It's legit serious.
You're doing full like open heart? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, unfortunately, they got to do it open heart. Yeah, I asked them if they could go through the leg. They said no, they got to go through the heart. So it's a bummer.
Man.
But I asked them if they could go through my butt cheeks, but they said no, we got to go through the heart. So yeah,
no,
man.
I gotta ask though. I'm gonna stop you, man. How do you remain so positive? Because you're clearly positive about this, and this is frightening. I'm sure. Do you tell yourself I got to stay positive? What's going on there?
It has nothing to do with what's in this Zeoli army bottle. I promise you.
Yeah, there's nothing. Nope.
I'm very positive when I'm doing the show. I love it. I love the Zeoli army. I love the support. Like looking at the comments right now. I mean, it's it's an incredible. It's a family. It's supportive. It's wonderful. And then I'll get off the, when this ends in a few moments, I'm going to go into a deep, dark depression. No, it's Reagan's birthday. I mean, I gotta be optimistic for my kids, but I gotta get this work done now because the danger is that when I'm older, this could cause problems. So we got to fix it.
I can tell you, Rich. I mean, you're an inspiration to a degree, and that's kind of corny to say, but because of you, and now that I have a daughter myself, I too have started taking my heart much more serious. So it's scary as heck, but good on you to get it done, and I'm happy that the doctors seem like it's all going to go well. So good stuff, brother.
Good. I'm glad to hear that for you. And since I've had 3 kids now, and the third being a bio baby surprise, and today being her birthday, I've started taking my penis a lot less seriously and trying to ignore it as much as possible so that this never happens again.
Maybe Swalwell should take your advice.
Come on, you got to laugh, kids. All right, before we get out of here, the president speaking at the White House just a few moments ago before he left to go to Vegas, baby, Vegas. And this is what he said.
The next in-person
Probably, maybe over the weekend.
Will you send the vice president? Mr. President, will you send the vice
Just so you
president?
understand, the blockade has been incredible. It's held. They're not doing any business. They're unable to do any business because of the blockade. And so the combination of having no Navy, having no Air Force, having no anti-aircraft equipment, they have nothing. Everything is gone, including their leaders. Now they have a new set of leaders, and we find them very reasonable.
So hopefully that will be the end of it. And the president reiterating, though, if there is not a deal, if Iran does not agree to a deal, the fighting is going to commence. And that's what he said. And I'm sure he'll have a lot more to say tonight, but the blockade has been a huge success. We have, and tomorrow you'll get to hear my conversation with Secretary Doug Burgum. They have rerouted, hundreds of ships to America to fuel up with American oil. And clearly right now, this is hurting Iran's business in a big, big way. In addition to that, over a dozen United States Navy ships have escorted ships through the Strait of Hormuz. So yes, Iran needs to come to the table and make a deal because I, probably along with you, would like to see this come to an end. Thanks for all the great wishes for baby Reagan on her birthday. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll be back tomorrow for an audio-only adventure. Dan, great job this week. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the Rich Zeoli podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thank you for listening.
Let's go.